What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the video. If you're new, hit that like and that sub button. If you're returning, just hit that like button. That's all I ask. What's good, YouTube? We got Tommy G visiting the poorest country in America.
It's the poor that's gonna starve and die. It's not the rich. I think poor is somebody like me. It's a struggle every day.
You're struggling and stuff, just making gas money just to get through to work every day and stuff for that month.
The county is considered first or second poorest county in the United States of America, which we're not proud of.
That was yours?
Yeah.
What
happened?
Damn, what happened?
At 3 o'clock in the morning. It was one of them things, I guess.
That's sad, man.
It's poor, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's poor.
Each year we journey to America's poorest county to connect with locals and see the realities of everyday life. This year, our focus turns to Owsley County, Kentucky, a community that's been covered by the likes of Huffington Post and Al Jazeera. Rural Appalachia, particularly Kentucky's coal mining regions, have long grappled with poverty. This region dominates the list of America's most challenging places to live, with 10 counties from this area making the top 25 in the country due to factors like life expectancy,
top 25?
poverty rates, and educational attainment. The question is, why does this area struggle so deeply with poverty? I mean, we're talking about one of the most beautiful areas in the country, and it's a place rich with coal and natural minerals, but it's also an area with low soil quality, so not much farming, rugged terrain, so hard to access and expensive to develop in. It's landlocked, which means no access to ocean ports, and so while it does have terrain loaded with coal and minerals, the problem is rich investors and coal mining companies came into these towns and sucked them dry. They gave the Kentucky locals who broke their backs toiling in the mines some crumbs from the table and took their riches for themselves. And when the coal business dried up, these companies vanished, leaving behind widespread unemployment and a devastating rise in drug addiction. In this episode, we dive into Owsley County, speaking with locals, law enforcement, and even those involved in the drug trade to paint a portrait of life in this overlooked corner of America. Join us today as we explore the poorest county in the country. And to give some context, this episode was filmed over the course of 2 visits, one in 2022 and one in 2024. Here we go.
Before we get into the episode, I got an announcement for you. We know mainstream media is dog shit, but thankfully we got the alternative. On my Patreon, you'll have access to videos like visiting the Chicago Trap House and talking to high-end car thieves. These episodes are not on YouTube, and if you think my YouTube is crazy, Patreon is on a whole nother level. Plus, for $7 a month, you can be a part of one of the fastest growing independent media movements in the country. Oh, and by the way, I also FaceTime some of you too. The link is in my pinned comments. I appreciate you guys, and now to the episode. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
About one of the poorest counties in the country.
This is?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we start rolling?
Okay. I got a one-way street all the way out of the courthouse. The roads are bad. Local law enforcement don't want to do their job.
So what's missing from law enforcement? Like what kind of crimes are happening that they're
Drugs.
not? What kind of drugs? Like fentanyl?
Meth, heroin, you name it.
And you said this is one of the poorest counties in the country. Is that kind of like a reputation it has?
It's always been that way. The older generation didn't want no factories or nothing like that, so now the younger generation is paying the price for it.
So there's not really good job opportunities here.
You either work for the school board, courthouse, or the county. It's the only job.
So is there a high unemployment rate here?
Yeah.
And the people that are unemployed they collect?
They're on disability or live on food stamps and stuff like that.
And what percentage would you guess of the population is that, of this town?
I'd say probably about 80% of it.
80%. Wow. Do you feel represented as an American?
Yeah, I did when Trump was in, but not now, no.
So you felt like Trump kind of had like little town America's back,
Yeah.
but not the current administration?
Yeah, he had the people's back. He didn't have the government's back.
What about this current administration makes you feel underrepresented?
A gallon of milk is $7 here.
So inflation is hitting people
Yeah.
heavy. A gallon of milk is $6.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy. How could
I ain't gonna hold y'all. Inflation is killing us right now. Like, everything is too expensive. You go over here to buy that. It's just too much up there. Have y'all tried DoorDash lately? Nigga, $20 just for some food. I'm just ordering one meal. It's just me. They tweaking.
a town like this recover and have a second wind to it?
Well, they got plenty of farmland. Want to let some company buy something, build a factory, start some, give something for the youth to do, you know, other than school and running around the roads and hanging out with their own crowds.
So basically, because there's a lack of opportunities for the youth, they're running around getting into drugs, starting those young, and then that starts a cycle that's going to keep the city economically depressed.
Yeah.
You just
I moved out of here when my boy got up to high school age and moved to Indiana, so he
have a better
had
chance.
a better chance. Now he's working up there and he's making $30 an hour in the factory.
That's damn good.
His wife's making $15 in the factory, so you know.
And it just feels like the opportunities here aren't there.
They're not here.
So if you were president of this country, what's one thing you would change to help a county like this?
I would lower the price of food, gas, give more job opportunities for people in the counties, not worry about big companies as much as they do and worry about the small people.
So does it feel like the cost of living is getting so high that it just almost feels impossible to get ahead?
I go through $800 a month in food.
Wow. What percentage of the town would you say is into harder drugs?
I'd say probably over 60%. I've literally sit on my front porch 3 o'clock in the morning and watch people walk down the middle of the highway in their underwear.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Any final thoughts or any advice for us going forward here? Is it sketchy here?
Run.
Like, is someone?
If they don't know you and you step on their property, they'll shoot first and ask questions later.
Wow. Well, thank you for the heads up. Okay, so first question I have is:
that's how y'all
do you
getting
feel
down in
represented
Kentucky?
as an American? Do you feel like the government has your interest at heart?
Hell no. I mean, look who we got as a president, Joe Biden. I mean, not that Trump was any better, but I mean, at least he was making stuff happen, you know. They're just running this country in the ground. I mean, look at inflation, look at gas prices. It's the poor that's going to starve and die. It's not the rich. I mean, it's dropping a bucket to them.
What is rich to you and what is poor to you?
I think poor is somebody like me. It's a struggle every day.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what rent goes for around?
Hey, listen here, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like, you can't be rich in, like, pockets wise until you rich in heart, bro. You gotta have, like, a rich spirit first. It ain't even always gonna work. But look, at least have your rich spirit, bro. Don't be down and out. If you ain't got no money, go get you some money. Go get you some money.
Here?
$750.
For how big of a house or a bedroom?
2 or 3 bedroom mobile home, living room, kitchen, bathroom, washer and dryer.
Okay.
And then you got gas, water, and electric, and trash, and then I got car payments, I got credit card bills, I got personal loan debt,
Does it feel like you're barely staying above water?
Oh yeah, man.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the camera?
Hold up.
Yeah.
Did he just say his rent is only $700? Nigga, while I live at, you know how high rent is here? Through the roof. You try going to go get you a place. It ain't gonna be no 700. I wish it was 700. Give me a good time. Ungrateful. You little ungrateful ass motherfucker. Man. Then you gonna throw the peace sign? You over there living good.
Joe Biden out of office. Get Donald Trump back in, or somebody better than Biden.
Let's go down to the courthouse where there's probably
Is he
a
really
lot of
better than
characters
Biden?
hanging out.
Is he?
This is known as one of the poorest counties in America. Is that a reputation that people are aware of?
Yes. Some want to work and some don't.
What do people do for fun around here?
You have to travel out.
Yeah?
Go to Lexington or Jackson or somewhere.
Go
There's
to
nothing
the
fun
next
in the
city
entire
over.
town.
Not a thing here.
Do people ride horses? Do they shoot guns? Do they play darts? Do they drink beer?
Beer. They drink beer and throw darts.
So you mentioned a lot of people are choosing
Damn,
not
what
to work.
happened?
Are a lot of businesses struggling to hire right now and they just can't fill a
They
position?
will hire somebody and then they just want to go home. They just kind of give up.
Pretty easy to quit, huh?
As soon as they get their first paycheck, they want to go back to the house.
Did you grow up here?
See, bro, you can't be living like that. You get you a little 9 to 5. All you gotta do is work, bro. You work, you get you some money. Like, you can either spend your check or like you can be strategic with your check. Take you like cool 100 piece out, put the rest up. I don't know. You do what you want to do with your check. You might want to take like $50 out. You maybe can survive on $50. I don't know. What am I to tell you? But look, I'm just trying to give you some financial advice. Look, nigga, you go to work just one day, you gonna be broke. You need to go for a little bit longer. Get you some money. Like, you gonna call out 1-2 times, cool. But nigga, you gonna go just one day? That's like $60, if that. You tripping. You already know you in the world's poorest country. You ain't getting no more than 60. If that. You gotta relax, bro. Go get your money on, though.
Here for 4 years. I lost my woman. I watched her overdose and die. I lost my home. I lost my vehicle. You know what I mean? I lost it all here.
So what do people do around here?
Try to survive. That's it.
Do you feel represented as an American?
No, I haven't even got a stimulus check yet.
Really? How'd they miss you, man? That's
How did they miss
Trump
him?
or Biden. If you're watching this, get this guy the stimulus.
Get that man
check.
that stimmy.
Checks. I lost $168,000 in one day.
How'd you do that, man?
Let's hold it.
Was it cash?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were running some sort of operation then to get that cash? Yeah. So were you
Bro,
like
you
a known
snitching
dealer
on
in
yourself?
the area? Or a lot of people
Okay.
struggling here?
Yes.
Because people not eating around here, is that bad?
I mean, people's going through trash cans and dumpsters. You know what I mean? It's not to make money, just to survive. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. What would you do if you were president to change the situation in this town?
I would take a match and a lot of gas or something, and I'd set fire to it.
What kind of cases do you encounter around here?
I just the warrants.
So what we learned, bro, is that you lost $150. You still ain't got your stimmy. Those stimmies been gone. I don't even know if you still can receive a stimmy right now. If y'all still receiving stimmies, hit that like and that sub button. I love you. Let me get $1. I just keep it. But look, my boy, we're not voting for you. You already said if you become president, you gonna set this whole world on fire. Why you wanna kill us, nigga? What the fuck?
And stuff, and people gets on them, and people non-child support, drug heads, and people on meth and things like that.
Is meth a big issue around
They
here?
gotta
Oh,
get
yeah,
that meth
it's
off the
bad.
street.
Yeah.
It's like he just keeps
And
getting worse
that
and
fit.
worse.
And how do you see the cycle getting better?
I believe in everything and stuff. People's helping stuff with each other and stuff, and then these rehabs and things. That's a whole lot too.
Okay. So this is known as one of the poorest counties in America. Why do you think it is that way?
I just got everything, people and everything and stuff. I mean, there ain't much in this little community and stuff really and things to do. And
Do you think there's enough job opportunities for people here?
there are several jobs and things, a few that people could actually work and stuff if they want to work, but
People are just choosing not to
people,
work.
several people just don't want to work. That's a lot to do with the generation stuff. Well, there's some that wants to work and stuff, and there's some that don't want to hardly do much work because they rely on the government and stuff. a
So
lot.
welfare systems?
Yeah.
Do you feel represented as an American?
Yep, I feel pretty good. Yeah, I like to feel pretty good.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna give y'all like some little tips when it come to work, especially if you don't want to go. Cause I don't like going to work either. But guess what? I go to work right now. Going to work. I like this though. This is fun. Look, you go to work, bro. You can sneak you some headphones in. Toss some headphones in there. Toss them bad boys in there. Turn that noise cancellation off though. You keep that noise cancellation on, bro. It's over. You ain't gonna hit nothing. You gonna be zoned out. But look, get you some headphones. Toss you something on. Go to work, nigga. Make that money on. That's all you really gotta do though. I ain't even gonna hold you. You just gotta like, but if you can't get you no headphones, just like, I don't know, like, nigga, do your job. I don't know. I mean, some of y'all, from the sounds of it though, I don't even think it's just the jobs. Y'all niggas just don't want to work. Y'all just lazy. Like, I don't know. An energy drink ain't even gonna give you the kick. It's just y'all cooked. Y'all gonna stay poor. But like, I don't know, nigga, go get you like a lawnmower, a rake, something. Go get you some money on it, nigga. Cause this life ain't free, right? I ain't gonna hold you. That meth y'all smoking, I don't condone it, but that meth y'all smoking, it ain't free, gang.
Just stuff.
Do you feel like the government has your best
Why
interest
y'all
at
niggas
heart?
smoking
I
meth?
feel like some people feel like small town America is overlooked.
Well, I know they try to help everything the best they can and stuff. Seems like it to me, but I mean they can only do so much. We got to try to do the rest.
So you're about to slap some cuffs on somebody?
Oh,
huh?
yep. They got a little thing with the transit stuff. Obviously, they got their like
He
a
12?
give them a call or something there. And I said, I'll give them a ride. I said, just do the crime. And I said, I'll haul.
And where do you take him to? How far to jail from here?
12 miles. It's the 3/4 regional
12
jail.
How's the food
miles.
there?
You know, stuff. It's about like at the house and everything. I mean, they fix them 3 meals a day, and they got breakfast and then they lunch, and then they'll have dinner at the evening.
What does struggling look like here? Like how tough does it get?
It gets pretty tough, and some
Them
jobs
niggas eat
everything
better
might
in
pay
jail
like
than
every
they
2
is
weeks and stuff
outside.
to get by, and it helps a lot and everything getting gas stuff. But then there's some jobs that might not get paid and everything like once a month, and you're struggling and everything instead of just making gas money just to get through to work the every day and stuff for that month to get your paycheck.
And what does rent go for around here?
Oh God, it's about $600 a month someplace.
For how big of a house?
Just a single wide trailer and things.
So this 12 eggs and like the cheap kind, $3.60 at Walmart or Aldi. That would be $2.50. Yeah.
See, I told y'all, bro. You can't be living over there in Kentucky and just going to work for one day. Y'all rent only $600 and $700. Y'all niggas can't even barely afford that. Niggas can't afford no food, no drink, sandwiches, croissants, nothing, nigga. Bread, sugar, water. But listen, man. Y'all niggas keep going to work for that $60. If you getting that 60, it might be 40 at the rate they talking about. Y'all gonna get your 40. I don't know what else to tell y'all Kentucky folks. I try to tell y'all go to work. You don't want to go to work. Eggs already about $4. Milk $6. Make you a farm or something. I don't know.
Yeah, this is expensive. Like you're paying as much for these eggs, and these are the factory farmed ones, as you would pay. It's more than what you would pay at Aldi for the pasture raised, the really nice eggs. So have you noticed the food prices jumping lately? Tell me from your experience.
Prices
Yeah.
through the roof.
What in particular? Is there anything specific that you've been buying that all of a sudden has jumped?
Everything.
How much do you think your grocery bill has gone up?
Oh, I'd say about $200,000-300,000 a month more.
Really? That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
And why do you think that is? It's tough.
Because they want that money on it.
Because, the area, I would say, because, where we live in this rural area, where gas was so high, which
Has your budget also gone up by $200 or $300 a month? Is there any specific food item that you've noticed has jumped?
eggs is one of it.
Milk.
Yeah, hamburgers.
2-3 years ago, what could you buy eggs for?
$1.99 or something, $1.50.
I worked at a store for 35 years. Eggs used to go for 99 cents a dozen, 89, 79.
So it's nearly doubled or tripled.
Yeah.
They're almost $4 a 12 for a dozen.
Yeah.
This is also known as one of the poorest counties in the country, right? What to you is rich and what to you is poor? Like how much a year do you have to make or a month do you have to make to be rich, and how much do you have to be making to be poor?
You have to make a lot to be rich, wouldn't you? Probably $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's poor here? Like if you're making under a certain amount, like okay, what's
I make a pretty good living, but I'm still poor. I mean, I just live paycheck to paycheck, so
what's the average cost of rent here?
I heard it was $700-800 a month.
And what kind of place is that?
But probably something you could throw your leg through, or see the wall, or see the ground.
Is that like a 2-bedroom? Is that a trailer? Is that a side by side? Is
Let's
that
say
a
one bedroom.
One bedroom.
You know what, my fellow Kentuckiers, I'm sorry, because I was over there saying y'all should be thankful to be paying like $600, $700 for rent, but I ain't know y'all niggas was getting a hole in the wall. Like, I deeply apologize for that. You know what? The governors and all that, and the mayors in Kentucky, y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit. Get them people some more money, man. Help them people out. They trying to eat too. Y'all niggas over there eating, they trying to eat. Owsley County.
We're here in the beautiful state of Kentucky to dive into the poorest county in America, Owsley County. We actually were here 2 years ago and did a piece, but we just didn't think we did it justice, so we're back to cover it properly. My concern for America is that people are right now. When you are paying $20 for eggs, cheese, and sausage, and cost of rent's going up, your utility bill is going up, wages have stayed stagnant, jobs have gone overseas. Without further ado, folks, Owsley County, Kentucky. What's life like around here?
It's pretty boring these days.
See, you're strapped up.
They like to rob you.
He got big glizzy on it.
Yeah.
You ever have to use it?
Not yet.
That's good.
Not on people anyway.
Okay. What do people do for fun around here?
They ain't much around here too, though, to tell you the truth.
You don't square dance or do any of that?
Nah, they ain't nothing like that around here anymore. They used to be all kinds of stuff, but now they ain't nothing.
How have things been economically with cost of living going up, rent going up, things like that? What has that been like in the area?
It's pretty rough on a lot of it because you just ain't got the money to do it. Just like my truck and that stuff history and me out paying bills, trying to. It cost me almost $400 to get it fixed.
To get your truck fixed?
Yeah, took most of my money right there.
Are there a good amount of jobs around here?
No, it ain't nothing.
What are my options?
$1 short of TV.
If you could talk directly to the...
Damn, all them niggas got for some job resources is the dollar store and BP. They only gonna take so many people. I ain't gonna never get a job over in Kentucky, bro. Like, everybody go to the next city over. Something. Matter of fact, I hate to say this, but I see why them niggas over there flipping them packs. If I was over there too, and I can't get me no job, I gotta flip me a pack too. Or some eggs, of course. But like, I do something. What if I got kids? What if I got a family? Hey, I feel bad for them people over there. Joe, nigga, wake up, nigga. Sleepy ass Joe. Get them niggas in Kentucky some money, nigga. Give them some money, bro.
President, what would you tell him?
I tell them to bring some jobs around here where people have something to do besides out stealing and robbing and...
A job will give someone something to do besides stealing and robbing?
Yeah. Might get them off all these drugs.
All right, bro. If you're a true American, you want America to be better for everybody. So how do we get there? What's the roadmap? What are the hurdles in our way? And what are some actual solutions that could get us there? I happen to think that with the amount of money going in with taxes into the federal government and state governments every year, you gotta imagine that there's better solutions than what's been going on now. Nice to meet you. Tell people where we are right now.
Right now we're in Boonville, Kentucky, just outside of town.
Boonville sounds like a city from
that sound like the country.
They say Daniel Boone camps out here, you know.
What is Daniel Boone known for again?
He was like the Cumberland Gap, stuff like that.
The Gap, West Virginia Gap.
Tell the people about Boonville.
Basically, you know, like 98% all white population. Everybody knows everybody.
Some people call Owsley County the poorest county in America.
Well, yeah, see, I seen your other video on, what was it, McCreary County?
Yeah.
Said that was the poorest county, but, you know, out here, Owsley County, Lee County.
So it's poor, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's poor.
Is that a reputation that people are aware of or they think about?
No, not really, you know.
To you, what is rich? Like if I make this amount in a year, you're like, I'm good.
Well, it ain't about money, you know, it's like, you know, your living situation. How you want to live and doing whatever you want to do.
All right, we'll see you in a few. You can tell just by who's shopping at the gas station that meth is definitely an issue in the area. My hunch tells me that fentanyl has creeped in here too. I know that this is kind of middle America and some of the trends that happen LA, New York are slow to hit, but fentanyl is pretty much creeped in everywhere now, so I want to explore a little bit more about that. One of the questions in my head is, does poverty cause drug addiction? Like the misery of poverty, you mask it up with drugs, or by getting into drugs does that cause poverty? Chicken before the egg kind of question. Anyways, we're driving through
I think it's a mix of both.
Kentucky. There's bluffs, there's trees, there's wildlife, the birds are chirping. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper into Owsley County and talk to the locals.
Gage said he had some friends he wanted to introduce us to and to follow him, so we left the parking lot and hit the dusty trail. Here's what happened.
We've been on a dirt road for a little while now, and this is only a spot that a local could bring you into. Hey, buddy. My dog's like
They
that
got
too.
acres.
Hey, puppy. Come on.
She didn't like it.
What's her name?
Grace. That night, baby.
The little guys are the ones you gotta watch out for with the dog.
Yeah, I run slap over top of my car.
Yeah?
We went over it. I mean, blood and everything coming out of his mouth.
You said you ran over?
Dog? He a thug.
Yeah. He's doing okay.
He's still surviving.
Yeah, I give him medicine. Where y'all from?
We're from Milwaukee.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good to meet you. I'm Tommy.
Too. I'm Isaac Bowley.
Isaac, nice to meet you.
You too, baby.
Did you grow up around here?
I grew up in and out of the county, not right here, but up Buffalo part of it.
You love it here?
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
I don't know. It seems like you can live here better than you can away. I tried living in Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan, and places like that, but to come down here, it's easier living,
Yeah.
you know, stuff.
I
and
can
you
see
don't
that.
have as much traffic, and, you know, it's put more people.
You seem like a man that wouldn't like traffic.
I don't like it. I come through Atlanta, Georgia one morning, and it was rush hour, running 100 miles an hour, and I had a 21-foot trailer behind me, driving a truck like that right there.
You sound like a menace on the road.
I mean, I had to. The man I was riding with, he had a heart problem, but he's having a heart attack, right? And he said he couldn't do it.
If I was in your car driving 100 with you, I'd probably have a heart attack too. I'm kind of a weenie when it comes to high speeds.
Well, if everything's running that fast, and you had to get in the lane over here, and you was in this lane, you had to get past them.
Yeah. So how has this area changed over time? What was it like when you were a kid?
Well, where I was born, up in Upper Buffalo, there wasn't no traffic. There wasn't no cars up in there. I remember the first car I ever seen. It was no about a 50 model Chevrolet truck.
When I look around this landscape, I feel like this is what America looked like for many, many years before cities ever came to be.
Oh, yeah.
I graduated high school and really been working around here ever since.
What do your folks do?
My mom's a phlebotomist down here right next to
His mom a phlebotomist?
So if I need some blood, she's who I go to? I see something went down here. That was yours?
Yeah.
What happened there?
Don't know, buddy. Come on about 3 o'clock in the morning, folks come out the windows.
You got a mean ex-girlfriend or something?
That's what I was trying to figure out, yeah. I don't think I made one that mad, though.
What do you think happened?
Just don't know. Just one of them things, I guess.
How long ago did this happen?
My boy said he's trying to figure it out.
It's a big life event to have your house burned down.
It's bad, yeah.
I'm gonna guess
I
insurance
would
is
be
gonna
pissed.
cover this.
Can handle insurance.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
How has Owsley changed over time? From when you were a kid to now, how has it changed?
Well, we've got like a new road, a new 30 coming out of Bateville there, you know. Well, we've got a stoplight down there now, costing like one red light.
So when you grew up, there was no stoplight?
No, we just had a flashing caution light there.
Yeah. What are the pros and cons of a small town?
Oh, well, of course, you got everybody in your business all the time, you know.
Is it hard to find a lady to court around here?
You can find plenty of them, but now it's hard to what they are.
What do you look for in a woman?
I gave it up. I'm 75 years old.
How long have you given up looking for love?
Since my wife died.
Man,
You know.
I'm sorry to hear that. When was that?
She died when she was 60.
You guys are about the same age?
Yeah. We're the same age.
I have to die first. That's what I told my wife,
Well,
because I don't
she
think I
died
can.
first. You know, it's hard. I mean, I lived with her 42 years.
Life can be a lot of love and joy, but it can also be a lot of tragedy.
It can be good or it can be bad, okay.
Hmm.
If you find
That's
a good
facts.
woman, you found a good thing.
That's a good guy, man.
Find a bad one on him.
Except for when he drives.
Sweet Cheeks is a wonderful woman. That's my wife. Shout out to Sweet Cheeks, by the way.
A woman can kill a man running crazy. I mean, just destroy him.
The younger generation, I feel like they're slower to get married, and some of them don't even want to get married. What do you think about that?
I think they're wise not to want to get married.
Why is that?
They always break up with it.
And when you lose them, I can't imagine that, man. That's
yeah, that's a bad feeling. I mean, it's the worst feeling in the world. It's like part of you died. I mean, with it.
Do you feel like it's
in a hole and can't get out? That's where it's. That's an awful feeling.
Do you believe in the afterlife? Do you believe in heaven?
Yeah, I believe we'll meet again.
If I want to date
that was beautiful.
What are my options? Where do I go to find them? What do you look for?
Oh man.
Tinder?
No, it's
not Tinder.
No, not around here.
Tinder
Are people on
crazy.
Tinder?
Sure they are, but they're probably like registered to Lexington or, you know, somewhere where there's more people, you know what I mean?
Do you also have to drive kind of far to find them?
Yeah, I mean, you know, besides the same old ones around here, you know.
So if you found love, you found a woman, and she said, hey, but you gotta move to Lexington or Louisville, would you do it? Or you say, hey, I want you to live in the country?
Who are these people that somebody is using?
What do you fellas do for fun?
You go fishing or something like that, or, you know, just
There's a good creek around here?
all these rivers and creeks, yeah.
What can you catch around here?
You can catch catfish, bass, crappie.
So I noticed in the South a lot that people have a lot of cars on their property. Is everyone just kind of working on a project?
Yeah, most of them, you know, is like parts cars they buy for parts, you know. They'll put the parts they need off that car. And
Okay, so rather than buy, let's say, 3 parts for $1,000, you might buy the whole car for a few $100, and then you can mix and match what you want off of it.
Right.
So I imagine that people around here are fairly handy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody's self-sufficient. Most of them.
And if I wanted to find a job around here, is that hard to do?
Yeah.
You'd be screwed.
Yeah?
It's pretty hard, yeah.
Or, you know, mowing yards. That's what I'm doing right now.
You do some welding
Dollar
as well.
store.
I went to school for it, yeah.
How far do you have to drive to find a welding job?
At least to Lexington, so what?
Yeah, at least to it.
75.
You have to commute that far just for a good job?
75
so when people say,
hours?
like, they're just not shit around here to do or
Just
shit
for
around
a
here
job?
for employment. They mean
It's
it.
terrible,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Did there used to be something in town and then it went overseas, or has it just always been not that much?
You know, when they done the tobacco
Yeah,
buyout.
it used to be the tobacco's what
Yeah.
we were.
Do you guys still believe in the American dream?
Oh yeah.
Or what does that mean to you?
Living free, doing whatever you want, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say we probably live
They live
free
in the
close to
GTA
this
life
year.
for real.
And what makes this place free?
Being able to get out and, you know, roam around the hills and be outside.
Going back to the whole job thing, so if you don't have a job, what % of people would you say are on the draw?
Pretty high percent.
Let's talk about rural welfare, which around here people refer to as being on the draw. In Kentucky, about 1 in 8 people live below the poverty line. But when we shift to the more rural Appalachian area of the state, that number jumps to 1 in 5. To remain afloat and have their basic needs met, many of these families turn to welfare. A family of 3 that qualifies for welfare receives about $524 per month. For many families, of course this helps, but this is still a life on a bare bones budget that doesn't allow much margin for error. Like for example, remember the guy earlier this episode that was having trouble with the $400 bill to fix his truck? Yeah, that's a lot of folks around here. The pressures of poverty and the rising cost of everyday living is leading some people to wonder if the American dream is still within reach.
If someone's on the draw, how much are they getting a month and how much does it actually help?
Not exactly for sure on the amounts. I think it probably vary depending on what you draw.
And how many
Social
kids you
Security,
have.
yeah, disability, stuff like that.
We just sent $90 billion overseas to fight wars in places that isn't our country. But what do you guys think about that when you see our government send our tax money overseas?
They could have gave us $90 billion. At least half of it.
If they built a brand new manufacturing plant or 2 in the area, do you think people would be flocking to sign up for that?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, them at the door you line up.
They'll be fighting.
Be fighting, yes we can.
People would be fighting to get a job?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to draw attention to a pair of tits I see on your arm. Who is that?
That's I don't know who she is.
She is a nice rack, eh?
Yeah.
My boy got titties
That's
set
what my
on.
bucket list was. There it is.
Do your own tattoo?
I've done it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Tell people
hard.
what that means to you.
A big paleo point, you know, it's just a extremely rare thing to find. Probably worth about 10 grand.
The arrowheads
What
on?
they use it
Yeah,
for?
that would be worth at least 10
What they
grand.
use it for?
Is this a place in America that probably gets forgotten about. You know, it's not hip and trendy. It's not the LAs and New Yorks of the world. People just want bum or podunk. And because of that, no one needs to run on a campaign that's going to help this place. Because, well, it's only a few thousand votes. Who cares? As long as I win the cities, I win the election.
You feel like a lot of people suffer from like depression around here?
Oh yeah.
What do people do to get help? Is it just like self-medicating, or is a lot of resources?
Yeah, a lot of people do drugs.
What percentage of people you would say are on something?
50 to 65%.
One of the things we're covering is rising cost of living, and groceries are a big part of that. We're at the one grocery store in town. How do you think about the prices here?
A little high.
A little high?
Everywhere you go in America, locals will tell you about the crazy grocery prices. US Today states that the average American family now spends over $1,000 on groceries, and the US Department of Agriculture says grocery prices are up 25% since 2019. Due to crippled supply chains, it was kind of understandable that food prices went up during COVID, but even then it still felt like we were being gouged by grocery stores, and it turns out we were. The Federal Trade Commission released a report that said large grocery store chains exploited product shortages during the pandemic by raising prices significantly more than needed to cover their added costs, and they continue to reap excessive profits. And not only did they gouge us, but we've also now been hit with shrinkflation, which is the practice of items decreasing in size, but they still charge us the same amount. Many people are feeling stretched to a breaking point when it comes to feeding their family, and in a town like this with only one grocery store and no competition on pricing, it is especially tough.
Do you feel like the cost of living has just gone up in the last few years?
Oh, definitely.
Where have you seen it most?
Groceries, gas, just everything really, you know what I mean?
Do you think more and more people are just stretched?
Oh yeah, definitely stretched thin. $100 bill, you know, is like a 20 used to be, you know what I mean?
Like one thing I've seen from cities to here is like, I can go either as cheap as I can, like Aldi and Walmart, or I can go expensive like Whole Foods or fancy shop. But here you got one option to shop. So let's just go walk in and let's look at the prices. A dozen for $4.50. Do you remember when that used to be like $1 for a dozen only a few years ago?
Oh yeah.
The cheese, $3.09. $5.60. One of the things that happened from the pandemic is like they raised all the prices after the pandemic, but then once things went back to normal, they never raised them back down again.
Right.
When you see corporations having record profits, like what goes through your head right now?
Well, inflation's just killing me. That's about mine.
Do you know how much you spend on groceries in a month?
$300 to $500.
What do you think needs to happen to make more people proud to be American?
I think with the whole immigration ordeal right now, like I think we need to slow way down on that, because you know we're letting all these, they're illegal aliens in, and you know we're giving them all this, you know, they give them food.
He said illegal aliens.
They give them checks every month, and there's American people that are out here starving, you know, homeless veterans. That right there, I mean, that's a shame to America, to me.
To really understand something, you gotta go straight to the source. And to understand drugs in rural America, you gotta talk about meth. So we found ourselves a meth dealer that was willing to talk. This is what he had to say.
We're deep in the Kentucky woods, and I want to learn more about the drugs that are moving through the community. I'm here with, and Jay, what are you in the business in?
Methamphetamine, fentanyl, heroin.
Do you sell all of those?
My boy, why are you selling people fentanyl? You just killing the people. Stop.
Those at the same time? Okay. What do customers want? Like, what was the highest seller? What was the lowest seller out of that grouping?
Well, it started out, meth was the biggest seller at first, and then, you know, when the pandemic hit, it transitioned into the fentanyl mostly. Right now, that's what's trending as well.
Fentanyl's taking over the game?
Yeah, that's what everybody wants right now.
What is the cost of fentanyl?
Anywhere from $1,200 to
$1,200 to
$1,600. How much do they pay for that?
Damn.
$8, $350 fentanyl. Meth right now at ice is way down. You know, it's like $125, $150 an ounce.
How does fentanyl get into a place like Owsley County?
You know, over time it's inevitable. You know, it's just gonna start bleeding over from the cities.
What has been the difference now that fentanyl has entered the game?
There's a lot more overdose deaths.
Do you think most people in this community know somebody that's overdosed?
Absolutely.
From what I understand, there's only one officer, one sheriff in the entire county. So is it pretty easy to get away with selling it?
No, it's not actually. There's a lot of state police, and you know we have lady sheriff, but you know, she's got deputies too.
Okay. In the business of that, are you ever paranoid or sketched out?
Oh, absolutely, you gotta be.
Have you had any close calls, or you ever been caught for doing any of that?
Yeah.
And what happened?
A traffic stop.
Traffic stop, and they found it in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that like?
You know, just pulled over and they've got a dog, they run the dog, and when that hits, they have a problem calling the search.
Was your heart racing at this point?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I would imagine. Do you feel like if there's more opportunities here for people, that they would be less likely to do drugs, and that drugs are kind of just a way to numb yourself if you feel like you don't have a lot of options?
No matter how much opportunity you have around a place, there's always going to be drug addiction no matter what. There's a lot of drug-induced mental illness.
I guess, is there any stories of that you like to paint people a picture of what you're talking about?
You know, people can be normal, and then after they say do methamphetamine for a while, like it just makes like schizophrenic symptoms and stuff like that. You know, it just really makes them come out. You know.
That sounds like it would be pretty scary to deal with.
Oh, yeah, it can be.
The United States has very high drug addiction issues from the city to rural and in between. What percentage of this area you think is on some sort of drug?
30-40%.
If you want to get clean, what are your options? Are there AA meetings? Is there therapy? Is there rehabilitation? Is there recovery homes? Like,
oh yeah, there's definitely there's rehabs and stuff like that. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of NA and AA meetings, but there is rehab.
How many like people in the area are like working like multiple jobs where they aren't just working one like 9 to 5, where they have to have something just to scrape by?
Sure.
Like, do you feel like people can't get by on just like one job anymore?
Around here, it's harder to get by on just one job.
Do most people go into selling drugs simply for the extra income?
Yeah.
And on a good month, what can you make selling meth, fentanyl, heroin?
It just depends on the quantities that you're able to obtain. You know what kind of money you got to start out with. You know what I mean? If you got a little bit of money going into it, it helps a whole lot. At least enough to buy an ounce quantity of either.
What's the biggest week or month you've ever had in business?
Probably 20 grand.
20 grand?
20?
What do you do with that money?
Well, I ain't got nothing to show for it now.
You pissed it away?
Down.
Yeah.
What kind of things did you spend it on?
Dog shit.
A lot of it I spent right back on drugs.
How is being in this business like impacting your mental health?
Well, at first, you know, it impacted it severely, you know, but eventually, you know, you'd be surprised what you can normalize, you know what I mean?
Is there any thoughts that you like to share with people back home?
The only message I have to people back home is to try to put the fentanyl down if you can, you know what I mean? Because eventually, it will get you eventually. If you're f***ing with it all, you are going to die, unfortunately.
Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts and your story. And we'll see you in the next part of this episode.
We heard a rumor going around town that a female police officer damn near patrolled the entire town by herself. We went to her office to go talk to her. She was a little bit camera shy, but she did say her lieutenant.
By herself?
Here's what he had to say.
I'm Tommy. I'm here with
Gavin Shanks.
You got a firm handshake. Tell me, what is it like being a deputy in Owsley County?
It's a pretty good experience. We definitely we get quite a bit of good calls and stuff. Be such a small town, we get into a lot of theft cases, a lot of dope cases.
When you refer to dope, which drug is that?
We get primarily a lot of methamphetamine cases. We do get a lot of marijuana use, but it's not typically something we don't worry about it as much as we do the other.
Do you feel like arresting someone for weed is kind of a waste of time?
Typically, I'll be honest, I don't arrest for weed. I usually write a citation and just seize the...
W officer. Hey man. All you officers can take a thing or two from him. Arrest for the methamphetamine and the crack, in a heroin, in a fent. But the weed, say it was a cigarette, something.
Seize the marijuana. If it's a very large amount, it kind of puts it into a different scale because it kind of bumps it to like a trafficking case.
Yeah.
To me personally, I've never actually arrested on it. I always just write a citation for it.
Not that I'm in trafficking marijuana, but I just think it's. I feel like of all things you can be put in a cage for.
I feel you, Tommy G.
Has theft gone up in recent years, or has it stayed steady?
I think it's definitely. I think it definitely goes up and down. I think right now it's up a lot. I think one of the leading things of theft is drug use. I think a lot of people, when they start using drugs very heavy, it turns into theft to pay for an addiction.
Yeah. Do you think poverty creates drug addiction, or drug addiction creates poverty, or it's kind of the same side of the coin?
I definitely think, if anything, I think the drug addiction definitely is the lead to poverty before poverty will lead to drug addiction. You know, I speak to a lot of these people we arrest, and a lot of people we, don't
I was
arrest,
gonna say that
conversations
in the beginning,
with them.
but I ain't never.
A lot of them, whether they're telling the truth to me or not, they don't. I don't know, but they'll always say, I want to get off of it, I just can't, and so it kind of leads them down that path of not being able to stop even if they wanted to. And I think it slowly leads to that poverty level because they're unable to pay for other things, trying to pay for that addiction.
If someone truly wants to get clean, what are the resources in the county for them to explore?
So one of the big things is, especially on these first-time offenders, we always try to give people the opportunity for rehab. We'll send them to a 90-day mandatory rehab, usually on the first and even second offense.
Who pays for that?
The county does.
That's really big.
If it's a mandatory rehab that we put them through, where the county will have to take that in. We also have a rehab right here in the county.
What do you had to guess? What do you think the success rate of a 90-day rehab is?
Man, sadly, I'm gonna angle on the low side just because it's not because it doesn't necessarily work or that's not a good rehab. It's just that people don't have the drive for it, and it's hard to conquer that drive in such a short amount of time. It's usually a good refresher, and we definitely see a change in people. In that 90 days, previous to us arresting you, and that 90 days, you will look like somebody we don't even recognize. But, the biggest thing is after that 90-day rehab, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to continue to stay clean? And that's hard. A lot of people think that they can get out of rehab and go back to running with the same crew. And, it just 9 times out of 10 doesn't work out,
How has fentanyl changed the game?
We are seeing an incline in overdoses here in the past, I'd say, year. And a lot of it leads back to fentanyl. We've had people we, used to, if we came upon an overdose, we could Narcan somebody 1 or 2 times and we were able to get them back. Now we're seeing Narcan 9 to 12 times before we're getting a responsive patient back. So, it's definitely changed the game a lot. And you can't never tell what it's going to be inside of. We get people who had a guy owed a few weeks ago, and he may not have told me the exact truth, but he said all he smoked was a joint, and he ended up overdosing. When they cleaned his stomach, he had overdosed on fentanyl. And so, whenever you look at that it could possibly be in marijuana and stuff, you never know what it's going to be inside of. You could smoke a joint and overdose.
What is it like carrying that with you? I think a lot of people don't understand what law enforcement see on a day-to-day basis, because you see people on their worst day. You see the fight between the husband and the wife. You see the drunk. You see the person that just overdosed and died. What is it like carrying that all with you?
I guess you just have to always make sure you don't take everything home with you, and try to just remember it's a job. It does get hard. Try to always be compassionate to people, and even though we see them on our worst day, a lot of people just see us and always think the very negative of it all, but we try to be compassionate with people and be understanding.
All right, folks, that was Owsley County. I think this is a very important American story to cover. I appreciate the people of Owsley County welcoming us in and sharing their story with us, because we're always thinking about what's the way forward. I wish that place the best. I wish some growth and prosperity in the future, and I'm glad we got to take an inside look. Thank you guys for joining me on the side. I'll see you next week.
Hey man, another W video.